everyone, my name is Mary and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things related to the storytelling industry. In today's video, we're going to talk about pen names and some of the reasons why you should consider using a pen name and some reasons why maybe you shouldn't consider using a pen name. Before we jump into today's topic, I want to apologize in advance. You will probably hear rattling and you may see appearances from my fluffy friend. He is in the back here playing and he usually pops up in my videos at least once or twice, but he's cute. So we'll see if my fluffy friend decides to say hello to all of you today or not. We'll see. All right, let's talk about pen names. I feel like this is a really common question that comes up for new authors, but also for authors that have been writing a while and maybe want to consider jumping into a different genre or writing something different. So I feel like it's a good topic to discuss, and I would love to hear your thoughts on pen names, especially if you're someone who uses a pen name. I do, and I'm going to kind of talk about my experiences with them as we go along as well. So first, let's talk about some reasons why people consider using pen names and why you might want to consider using a pen name, right? Well, the first reason is the most obvious reason that people choose one. They don't want people to know that they're writing the book. Now, there's a million reasons why you may not want someone knowing that you're writing a book. It could just be as simple as you don't want the fame and fortune of writing a book, which I wish, right? Most of us never turn into that. We're not all Stephen King, but maybe you don't want people to know that you wrote the book. You just want to stay private and personal, and you don't want people to know that you're writing, and that's totally valid. Maybe you just don't want that. It could be that you're writing something that you feel like would conflict with maybe your job, or it could be that you're writing something that would be frowned upon by people in your life. So if you come from a very strict religious family, they're probably going to frown on your writing if you're writing erotica. I mean, or, you know, if you're writing a book on how to summon demons and your dad's a pastor, you may not want people to know that you are writing that. Again, you should consider this if you don't want people to know that you are writing the book. And that's really the main reason why people do it. Another reason why people consider a pen name is because they've had a bad experience in writing in the past and they want to have a fresh start. So this is actually quite common for people in my age range and even younger than me who jumped into the self-publishing wagon way back when it first became all popular and like everybody was putting books up on Amazon and they weren't good. They just weren't. A lot of us had some really crappy self-published books that went out in like the 2006 to 2015, maybe shorter than that range, where it was just they were not done well, the covers were terrible, they weren't edited, and the reviews were bad. And you don't want to then continue under a name that kind of has, I don't want to say bad reputation, but just had a bad start in writing. So a lot of times people that are now coming back to writing and considering self-publishing again are using pen names because they don't want to be affiliated with the old name that, you know, didn't go over very well. So anytime you're wanting to kind of have a fresh start and you don't want anything that's associated with the old name that could possibly hurt your career moving forward, then that is a reason why people do use pen names. Another popular reason that people consider a pen name is just to differentiate between genres. So for example, if you write romance as an adult, you write adult romance books, and you want to venture into writing children's books, you probably don't want to put those under the same name because it would be really embarrassing to have a child Google your author name or go to your author website and see books that are way outside of their age range and talking about material we don't want young kids reading. So a lot of people who have vastly different genres will use pen names, and this is actually my reason for doing so. So I write nonfiction and Christian books kind of under my real name, Mary Ellen Quigley, but I write romance novels under my pen name, which is M.E. Laverne. And I did this because obviously I'm writing non-Christian-esque romance books, albeit clean romance, but they're romance books that have to deal with like vampires and mafia, and I didn't really want people Googling that and finding a Bible study or devotional book because that could be very frowned upon. I don't care that people know I'm writing under a pen name. It's just my way of differentiating between genres. So if you have something that's vastly different or you want to make sure there's a clear line between the books that you're writing to make it easier to streamline your fan base, then using a pen name is a really good idea. So what are some reasons that you shouldn't use a pen name? Well, The main one I would say is one you need to be very careful with, because I've seen people get burned with it, is if you're just using a pen name to hide. And it's going to contradict kind of what I said at the beginning of this video, but when I explain it, hopefully it makes more sense. So some people use pen names just to hide from past, I don't want to say mistakes, but drama that's been caused. There's been a couple of self-published authors who have had stinky situations on social media and have had backlash or been canceled in the early canceling days and have since came back out under pen names. The problem is, it's really not that hard to figure out that you have a pen name, and that's one of the reasons why I'm just open that I have a pen name. And because of that, there is the possibility that someone will figure out your pen name, right? Especially if you have something under your pen name that takes off and becomes popular, people start to dig and they can find your pen name. So if you're doing this to kind of hide with the idea that no one will ever find out you have a pen name, then be very careful in doing that, because there is a good chance it can come back to bite you in the behind later on. So it kind of contradicts what I said, that you don't want people to know you write the book. Well, you just need to be prepared that there's sometimes cases where people can find out your pen name, and you just need to be prepared for that, right? So if you're going to do that, go into it very cautiously, maybe talk to people who have been outed on their pen names, and just make sure that you're doing everything you can to protect yourself. But just keep in mind that you can't go into a pen name with the idea that no one will ever know, because if you do, it could end up very badly. The second reason why you maybe should not consider a pen name is just because of the amount of time it takes to put into a pen name. So think about the world today and how much time everyone spends on social media. All of us have social media accounts, and even those of us who get trade published, I actually am lucky enough to have a book coming out in August that is trade published, traditional published, however you want to say it. And I will say that it doesn't matter whether you're self or traditionally published. You will 100% be responsible for social media and for making sure that you are promoting your books on social media, that you're trying to create a following online. And it's a lot of work to plan your social media posts. Most of us, when we're first starting out as authors, don't have the money to pay someone to take care of a social media for us. You know, a lot of people have author assistants, virtual assistants that take care of this stuff. But if you are not financially at that point, you are the one doing all of the work. And you need to keep that in mind if you're going to have multiple pen names. I have a hard time just keeping up with my two names. I'll be honest with you, my M.E. Laverne has not been updated in ages because I've been in grad school. And so I haven't posted anything to social media. And the one under my real name, I haven't really done anything with until now, because I'm starting to ramp up kind of my nonfiction writing world a little bit. But keeping up with two social media accounts is a lot of work. So right now I'm keeping up with our business, Quickly Virtual Services, our podcast, Hoosier Myths and Legends, my personal social media, which is getting ready to be revamped and restarted, and my M.E. Laverne social media. So that's 4 social media accounts that I'm having to go through and post to Instagram and Twitter, respond to comments. It's a lot of work. So keep in mind your workload and how much can you really handle. And I would just make sure that if you're going to use a pen name, maybe a pen name, not 3 or 4, because it's going to be extremely difficult to come up with demands of doing that many social media accounts. And especially if you do a lot of different social medias like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, like it's a lot and you can become overwhelmed very quickly. So those to me are just kind of overarching reasons why you should either consider a pen name or not consider a pen name. But there's a million answers out there, and I've seen a ton of videos here on YouTube that discuss this topic. So do you use a pen name? And if so, what are some of the pros and cons you have found with using a pen name? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you like my content, be sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next video.